Wildverse podcast, where we introduce you to the wild world of taxidermy, a place where artists and hunters collide. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Heather.
And today is our monthly trivia episode, where we test our knowledge on topics like biology, anatomy, taxidermy, conservation, and general animal knowledge.
Yeah, I am so excited. I, of course, enjoy all of our episodes, but these trivia ones hold a special place in my heart. But the way that I really love to start these episodes out is with a good old would you rather question. If you don't know what a would you rather question is, it's where you're given two horrible imaginary options and you have to pick one or the other. So, Ashley, are you ready for this month's would you rather?
Yes, ma'am. Let's hear it.
All right. Would you rather be able to easily make everything in your work perfectly symmetrical, but you'd be completely colorblind, like you can only see black and white? Or would you rather be able to perfectly nail your finished work every time, but you can't ever get anything straight?
Okay, so either I am colorblind, but everything's symmetrical.
Yep.
Or everything's asymmetrical, but it's perfect every time.
Yeah, perfect colors, perfect epoxy work, like clean, perfect finished work.
Okay, so I'm going to say I'll just let everything be asymmetrical and it'll be perfect every time. The reason I say that is because I think you can kind of get away with that and maybe make it asymmetrical on purpose. Like you can, do a eye rotation maybe, or like maybe tilt the head, something like that. And I'd rather have just perfect, smooth, beautiful finished work.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect answer for somebody who does mainly like game heads. I think that's perfect. Me doing more like life size and predator, like I want everything symmetrical. It drive me crazy if it's not symmetrical, and that's one of the hardest things to get. So I'm gonna pick being completely colorblind and just have somebody help me with finish work, or shoot, I'll just pay somebody to do the finish work.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's another loophole. You could like just have somebody else do
Yeah, I
it.
mean, it wouldn't work in competitions, but somebody could sit out the colors that I need and I'll figure it out.
Yeah, you could like read the bottle, see, oh, this is, burnt umber. Like, okay.
Yeah.
You'll get really good at seeing like tones and hues maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not all black and white. It'd have to be like a little like grays and whites.
Yeah, like grayscale. Because when people are colorblind, it's isn't it rare that people are completely colorblind? Like usually it's just like blue, green colorblind.
Yeah, like red, green. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I know my husband's colorblind, and that's like.
Oh, is he?
It's reds and greens. Yep. Yeah, reds and greens are no good.
Oh, but he can see other colors.
Yeah, I think they're all a little weird. Like when we play like Punch Bug, he'll hit me for one and be like, purple one, and I'm like, it's like baby blue. What are you talking about? Like I don't see a purple Punch Bug anywhere.
Are you talking about slug bug? Like if you see a beetle, like a Volkswagen?
What do you call it?
Slug bug?
Oh, never heard that.
I've never heard punch bug.
Yeah, it's punch bug. So apparently that's a difference. West Coast, East Coast, slug bug. I mean, I like slug bug. But...
Do you say, because the phrase is slug bug, no slug backs?
Yeah, punch bug, no punch back.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. I've never heard punch bug before.
Learn something new.
There you go. Yeah, I wonder what other people say.
Interesting.
Yeah, maybe they call it completely different names too.
That's funny. Okay, so here's how today's episode is going to go. We're going to take turns asking questions and answering questions and keep score to see who won this month's bragging rights.
Let's get started.
Okay, so I will start. Ashley, your first question, it's going to be on the topic of anatomy, and I will just warn you, I'm starting you out with a little bit of a tough one. On the front feet of a bobcat, or any cat for that matter, where do the claws sit when fully retracted? We have A, the inside, B, the outside, or C, the center. Start timer.
Okay, when a bobcat's, their feet are, the claws are fully retracted.
Yes.
So I can picture it in my head. I don't mount that many animals with claws. Or, I mean, I can mount the animals with claws, but am I working with their claws? Not very often, no.
You got about 20 seconds.
Okay, so I'm going to go with my gut answer, and it's going to be one or the other, but we're just going to go with my gut here, and I'm going to stick with that because
okay.
Oh, shoot, I'll be disappointed if I don't.
All right. Okay. All right. We got 3, 2, 1. There is the timer. If I can learn how to shut it off. All right. So you picked what?
My answer is A, inside.
All right. So, okay. The answer is B, the outside.
I knew. I knew it was one or the other. I didn't think it was center, but
yes. I always thought, I'll be honest with you, like I thought I knew the answer to this until I researched it because I swore that like the 2 outside ones sat on one side and the 2 inside sat on another side. But every single picture of a cat foot I could pull up, they're all on the outside of that toe bone when they come back up.
So outside, okay.
Yep.
I think you even had a picture, right?
Yes, I sent you a picture. It really shows, I don't know if it's an actual cat foot or like a graphic of a cat foot, but it shows you where they sit.
Okay. Oh, yep. That would be on the outside. So
yeah.
For anyone just listening to the podcast, we'll have that up on our YouTube that you can see the picture as well. So if you want to see some of the pictures we pull up today, you can follow us and watch us on YouTube.
Yes, yeah. And if you want to look at the picture, I never realized that declawing cats was kind of as like I didn't care one way or the other, but now after seeing and like dealing with their feet, I'm not a big fan of declawing cats because once you see that anatomy,
they are taking off like their whole toe bone, right? Like the tip of their toes, and it would be like taking off like the tip of your finger.
Yeah, that's what I would imagine because their foot rests different. I don't know. It's just a lot more invasive than I've ever thought that it would be.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the declawing either. I mean, yeah, to each their own, but I don't think I would be doing that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how their feet are built. So take a look.
All right, let's see. Do you want to go to question 2?
Yes.
Okay, are you ready? This is a question, Heather, that I will be asking you. And this question has to do with anatomy.
Okay.
The question is, what term is used to describe the condition in deer where the antlers do not shed annually and the deer remains in velvet all year long?
Okay, let me start the timer. I feel like I know what this is, but I also feel like I know like a couple answers, and I don't know which one's correct.
Yes, so maybe a spoiler or a hint. It does go by different names, but I'm looking for the like official term.
Okay.
It kind of ties into some of the nicknames that it's called too.
Okay. All right. I think I know what I'm gonna go with. Okay. So, gonna lock that into my head. And does it? No, I'll ask this after. It's not. I don't need hints. I'm just gonna stick with my answer.
Again, the question is, what term is used to describe the condition in deer where the antlers do not shed annually and the deer remains in velvet all year long? All right.
There's the timer.
Heather, what is your answer?
So, my answer is cryptid.
Okay, I'll accept that answer. The official answer is cryptorchidism. And I think I'm saying that right.
I don't know if that should count or not. I feel like
I think you were close enough.
I got part of it.
I think that's fine because you did say like the scientific definition,
cryptid,
right? Yeah,
part.
I think you're close enough.
Yeah.
Because cryptorchidism is the answer, and that is also known as the undescended testicles. It's a condition that can occur in deer where one or both testicles fail to descend into the scrotum. It can also be caused by an injury to the scrotum resulting in the drop of testosterone. Basically, if a deer's testosterone drops significantly, it will no longer shed its antlers and the antlers will just continue to grow, thus remain in velvet. And a deer with this condition is sometimes called a stag, a cactus buck, or cryptos.
Okay, I've heard the cactus buck.
So those are some nicknames. Yeah, so it goes by different names. Have you mounted very many of these?
I think I've done like 2 or 3. The one was a monster, like gorgeous, beautiful deer. And have you, first of all, before I say anything else, have you mounted any?
I have. I've mounted a few, and I like them. They're pretty cool looking.
Have you noticed anything weird about them?
About the antlers or like the whole deer itself?
like the actual deer, like the hide. Have you noticed anything strange?
I guess not. No, have you?
Yes, I have. I feel like all the ones I've ever worked on, and maybe it's a regional thing, like maybe the deer in the south, west, central area, maybe because their hair is different. But everyone that I've done, their hair is like really long, and they have really long eyelashes.
Oh,
They have like their hair is just different.
I mean, I could see that maybe they're distributing like more doe traits because you picture does that have usually more thicker eyelashes and stuff. Maybe that's kind of part of it.
Yeah, that might be.
I'm sure it has to
Yeah,
do
because they
with
had
it.
beautiful, beautiful eyelashes and stuff. So does with antlers though aren't considered that,
No,
or they are.
I
Okay.
don't believe so. I think that's just a separate issue because this cryptorchidism literally is tied to like the testicles, like the scrotum. It has to do with that. So like if you have a deer that got caught up on a fence and injured themselves
Mm-hmm.
there, this would result in that, or they could be born with this condition. So I believe it's just in males. I don't think it would be the same for antlered does.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I'd have to check that out because I always kind of categorize them in the same thing, but yeah, I'm sure they are different because it is like you said, it's based on testosterone, so
Yeah, and
very
interestingly,
different.
you see a lot of these in like Sitka blacktail, like up in Alaska.
Oh, okay.
They have like an abnormally high rate of these. I always call them stags. So like they have an abnormally high rate of stags.
Hmm. That is interesting.
Yeah.
That's why I love these episodes because I always learn something new.
Yeah. So I'll give you that point. I think you got it.
All right, cool, sweet score. So now it is my turn to ask you a question. This is question number 3, and this topic is taxidermy. This one I feel like you should get right.
Okay.
Okay, so what are the 2 materials commonly used to make eyes? Start. Thought I'd throw you a bone on this one.
Okay. So I am thinking of the answer, and maybe if you didn't say it was simple, I wouldn't have thought this simply about it, and maybe I would have complicated it. So I'm going to go with what I believe is the
Oh.
answer, and if it's wrong, then you're going to say the answer, and I'm going to be like, oh man. So it's I either will say the right answer or I'll
Yeah.
know the right answer, basically.
Yeah. I thought when I wrote this up, I'm like, well, I hope like there are a couple ways I guess you could take this, but it's just, the question is what are the 2 materials commonly used to make eyes?
All right.
Time is almost up. Timer. All right. So what was your answer, Ashley?
My answer is glass and acrylic.
That is the answer. That is
Okay.
what I was going for. It was
Okay,
glass
good.
and acrylic.
So I was thinking, do you want me to say glass or plastic? But acrylic is what we typically call them, right? So I figured that was it.
Yeah, I was afraid when I wrote that up that you're going to be like thinking of the materials that make the glass or something. You know what I mean?
Oh, like sand and I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else would be other than sand and I think silica
water.
is the same thing as
I don't
sand.
know.
So
I don't know what actually is used to make glass anyway.
Yeah. So just a kind of little interesting thing for anybody who is not a taxidermist and is listening. We do have I would say there's kind of several different types of eyes, but they're going to be either glass or acrylic. And the difference is like obviously glass is glass and acrylic is like Ashley, you said, like a kind of a plastic. It's softer. It scratches a lot easier, but it also sometimes is easier to make nicer eyes with acrylic than glass just because it's a little easier to work with.
Right. They both have their pros and cons.
Yeah, absolutely. Glass is nice, but it can, I guess you could say it can break. I mean, it breaks if you drop it, and acrylic eye doesn't break if you drop it.
Yeah. And I've definitely dropped some glass eyes and broke them, and I've scratched them.
Yeah. Yes.
But I've had pretty good luck with glass eyes. I haven't done that a lot, and I prefer glass eyes most of the time. If I can get away with a glass eye, I will over an acrylic eye. Just personally,
Yeah.
Maybe I just haven't had great luck with acrylics yet, but that's my go-to.
Well, they are easy to mess up.
Yeah.
Like you try to be careful, and next thing you know, you've got a scratch or something in it.
Yeah, and I'm prone for messing things up anyway. So like.
So an interesting little story about a glass eye. I had a guy who took a wall pedestal whitetail home, and it was not my fault. He hung it up not on a stud. So it fell off the wall And when it fell, like, I feel like routers don't look like this anymore, but it was like it would be a box and then it'd have a little antenna sticking up out of it, like a little plastic antenna sticking up out of your
Okay.
router.
Okay.
The deer fell, and somehow that plastic router busted straight through the glass eye and stuck in this deer's head.
Oh, that's like a
Yeah.
1 in a million sort of.
Yeah. I can't believe it didn't like bounce off, Like how did it bust straight through that? And that glass is thick. It's not thin.
It must have felt
Yeah.
really hard. Like it just
It must have.
maybe a tall ceiling.
I guess it must have been way up there, but yeah, that was a first for me.
Yeah, that's probably a first period.
Yes. Okay, so right now you have one wrong and one right.
All right, good. This episode of Wildverse is sponsored by Pro One Performance Chemicals. Pro One specializes in tanning chemicals for the professional taxidermist. They offer a complete line of tanning products to provide you with everything you need to tan your next tide. I really like their ProMax Tan for my personal tanning projects. They make it so simple, it's easy to follow instructions printed right on the bottle. I actually used Pro One to tan the deer that I won with at Nationals, and I was using this same tan to tan some bobcats last week. It's super versatile. Not only does Pro One have you covered for all your tanning needs, they also sell Pro One Hide Paste, the industry standard in glue. Heather and I both use Pro One Hide Paste on every single mount. We love it. It has a thick consistency that makes it easy to apply to the form, yet it's soft and pliable enough that it can be easily manipulated under the skin after you throw the hide on. If you haven't tried Pro One Hide Paste, I am telling you, you are missing out. And now, as of 2024, you can order Pro One products directly online at pro1performancechemicals.com. That's PRO, the number 1, performancechemicals.com. So let's move on to, what is it, question 4, right?
Yep.
Okay. Question 4 for you, Heather. The Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora is commonly known as what?
Oh my gosh, you're going to have to read.
Let me repeat that. The Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora is commonly known as what?
The Convention.
The Convention of International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora is commonly known as what?
Man, I don't have a clue. Is this a thing we say a lot?
Yes.
Like, is it a common thing?
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna say it one more time. Okay.
Okay.
Listen carefully to this. The Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora is commonly known as what?
I'm gonna take a shot in the dark. My time's up, so I'm sure I'm gonna be wrong on this because I feel like this is only for cats. But my guess is CITES.
That is correct.
Yes!
You got it. I knew you'd know it.
Oh.
Yes.
I see. I got the Convention, International Trade, but then the Wild Fauna, like where does the E come in? An S.
Endangered species.
Oh.
So I tried to, when I was like, listen carefully, I tried to say, like, emphasize the words in the acronym. Because, CITES, CITES is the acronym. So the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, CITES, is an international agreement aimed at regulating the trade of endangered species to ensure their survival. It was established in 1975. CITES operates through a system of permits and certificates to control the import, export, and re-export of plants and animals listed under its 3 appendices. I think that's how you say that word, based on their level of threat. The treaty aims to prevent the exploitation of endangered species for commercial purposes while promoting sustainable trade and conservation efforts worldwide. CITES plays a crucial role in safeguarding biodiversity and preserving the delicate balance of ecosystems. Yeah, like you said in your answer, it has to do with cats a lot, like bobcats, CITES tag.
Yeah.
Other animals that fall under that are like pretty commonly, like, when you think of maybe near threatened animals like rhinoceroses, gorillas, stuff like that are also protected under CITES.
Interesting. I guess I never thought what that stood for. I was a shot in the dark, and that one panned out for me.
Yeah, great job. I worded that question. I had what does CITES stand for, but I was like, there's no chance. So I just flipped the answer and
nope.
Yeah.
If you would have said that, I would have been like cats in the environment.
Yeah. Okay, so good. Great job.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, it would have sabotaged me. I would have got it wrong. So
you got it right.
Okay. Sweet. All right. This is a question for you, Ashley. This is question number 5, and this is on the topic of conservation. Which state has the largest deer population? This is going to be a multiple choice question. We have A, Texas, B, Wisconsin, C, Pennsylvania, or D, Michigan. Start timer.
Man. If you were to ask me what are the top 4 deer states, I would have said all those, but I don't know which one has the most. So,
well, that would have been pretty good. But yeah, which one has the most? And this is, just to give you a thing, this is white-tailed deer population, not just like deer in general.
Gotcha.
Just white-tailed deer.
Okay. Oh man, because I would heavily bet that those 4 states are like the top deer hunting states, right? Like the most deer are harvested in those states, I would assume.
Probably. It's probably like when I looked it up, it's probably why I picked those.
What were the multiple choice again?
Okay, so it's Texas, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, or Michigan. Almost up.
Okay.
There's the time. Okay. So I'm just going to say this question again before I ask you your answer. Which state has the largest deer population? Texas, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, or Michigan? What is your answer?
I'm going to say Texas.
Ding, ding, ding. You are correct.
Yes. Okay. That was a good question, though, because I had a lot of ways to justify every answer there. So,
yeah.
That's great.
I know. Like, I guess once you think about how big Texas is,
yes,
you know, then you're like, well, yeah, it's probably the answer.
Right. That's what led me to that.
I have some interesting deer facts across the country. So, let me tell you some of these. So, Texas has over 3 million wild deer, but if you count their captive deer, it's over 5 million.
Okay,
that's a lot of whitetails.
That was kind of what my mind was thinking. Like, are you talking about all deer, captive, high fence, low fence, all that? Okay.
Yeah. So there was that, and then I found all the states pretty much in order. I'm not going to name all of them. I'm just going to name the top ones. Okay. So Texas, it said they have about 5.3 million whitetails. Michigan, the next highest one, only has 1.8 million. That is a gigantic difference between 5.8 million and 1.8 million.
Wow.
Then tied for spot number 3 is Mississippi and Alabama. They have 1.7 million.
Oh, really? Okay. I was thinking you were going to go with your multiple choice ones. Okay. And what were the next ones?
They were in there. So Wisconsin was number 4 or 5, however you want to say that, because of Mississippi and Alabama being tied. Wisconsin has 1.6 million and Pennsylvania has 1.4 million.
That's a lot of deer.
Yeah. And this is not going to count as any trivia question, but I do have kind of 2 little bonus questions to ask you on this one because they are kind of interesting. Okay. So first, we're going to start off with what 5 states don't have any whitetail deer?
Oh, okay. What 5 states? California?
Yep.
Hawaii?
Yep.
Utah?
Nope.
No. Alaska?
Yep.
Nevada?
Yep. And then one more.
What is it?
Oregon.
I'm gonna argue that one. I think there is whitetail in Oregon. I think they have a whitetail that they call like the Cascade whitetail. We could double check that, but
we'll have to check.
I want to say that one might be incorrect.
All right, they might be wrong. They definitely might be wrong. That was just the info they had.
But yeah, I knew California for sure because being from there, it's like, well, no whitetail.
Yeah, which was surprising to me. I thought that they would have whitetail.
You'd think there'd be like Coos whitetail at least, like how Arizona has the little whitetails in the desert there. You'd think they might have some.
You would think.
Undocumented.
Maybe undocumented whitetail population.
Yeah. There's a lot of undocumented things out there.
So you said about Utah. Do you have a guess on how many out of all the states that have whitetail, Utah has the least amount.
That's what
at least
yeah.
according to this.
That I didn't realize they had any. I thought maybe because they're so close to states that do. I would say they only have like 5 to 10,000, maybe.
So at least according to this site, they have about 1,000 whitetails.
Okay, yeah, very minimal. Okay, that checks out.
And the next lowest is Rhode Island at 18,000.
Well, that doesn't,
which is impressive.
Rhode Island hardly counts as a state.
Yeah, I know, but it's so little. How do they fit 18,000 deer on such a small little state?
It's small. I think the county I live in is bigger than that.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is a really small place. They must be jam-packed full of deer. That might be some good urban hunting areas.
Oh, you know what? You're probably right. They probably do have some. I bet they have some pretty sizable whitetail up there.
They might. I'm gonna go check it out. Not for hunting, but I'm definitely gonna check it out. We're gonna go up there this year to this all-you-can-eat seafood buffet that is only open in the summertime.
Oh, that's cool.
Check out their deer in the area.
Yeah, because you're pretty close to Rhode Island, aren't you?
Yeah, I think it's maybe like 4 to 6 hours, maybe.
That's close.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, close enough.
It's just so small. Yeah, why would you ever go there? But that's a good reason to go there.
Go there for a seafood buffet, and then we're going to go, hopefully, to Massachusetts and do some whale watching.
Ah,
so that would be pretty cool. All right, you are up next.
Yes, let's move on. We're on question 6.
Yes.
Question 6. This one's for you, Heather. What is the term used to describe baby sandhill cranes? Like, what's their baby animal name? Sandhill cranes.
Jeez. Well.
What is the term used to describe baby sandhill cranes?
I'm just going to have to think on this one. I got like 30 seconds, so.
Okay. You might know it.
Baby sandhill cranes.
Think hard. Like, dig into your brain. What?
I'm telling you, I have no clue. It's going to be, it's either going to be a wild guess or I'm just going to come up with something silly and watch it. Maybe it's right.
I would err on the side of silly for this one. I would, that's a hint for me to use. It's not
a sandhill crane.
Yeah, I don't want to say too much. I'll save it, but
yeah, don't say.
But think outside the box about what the answer might be. Okay. The term used to describe baby sandhill cranes. Heather, what is your answer?
Oh gosh, I don't even know. I'm just gonna go with the obvious that I know is wrong, and that's just a chick.
Yes, that is incorrect. It is not chick. See, it should have went a little sillier. The answer, what is the name of baby sandhill cranes, is colts. Like a horse. Like a baby horse.
Yeah, I never would have guessed that.
Yes. So while baby sandhill cranes are affectionately referred to as colts, it's interesting to note that different species of cranes have their own unique names for their young. For example, baby whooping cranes are known as chicks, while baby crowned cranes are called pea-chicks. So each species has its own distinct term, reflecting the diversity and wonder of the avian world. Whether they're colts, chicks, or pea-chicks, these young cranes embody the beauty and resilience of their species as they navigate the challenges of growing up in their natural habitats. That was a little excerpt from Wikipedia, but so yeah, it's interesting that they're not all called colts, just sandhill cranes.
Colts,
like the horses.
Interesting. Yeah. Never would have guessed that. I was honestly, if I was gonna say something silly, it was gonna be something like baby ribeyes or something, because they call them the ribeye of the sky.
That's pretty good. I like that. Baby ribeyes. Baby back wings.
Yeah, that actually was pretty good. Baby back wings.
We should start that one.
Yeah.
Petition for the name change.
Don't know much about birds. Like, I posted on the Wildverse Instagram, I posted that little baby owl sleeping.
Oh, that was so funny.
You know, I never knew they sleep face down because their head's so heavy.
That was really cute. I like that picture.
Yeah. Yes. He was out for the count.
It was so accurate.
So my next question for you is kind of even almost, you know, it's funny that we kind of line these up like we did. This is question number 7, and this is on the topic of general animal knowledge. This African animal, native to the Congo, is often referred to as the forest giraffe, Congolese giraffe, or zebra giraffe. What animal am I talking about? Start. So it is known as...
Can you repeat that?
Yes. It lives in the Congo, and it's referred to as the forest giraffe, the Congolese giraffe, or the zebra giraffe. What animal am I talking about?
I'm assuming the answer is not giraffe.
No. Okay. Giraffe is not in the actual name.
Okay. I think I know what animal you're talking about, if it's what I'm thinking of. if it's this animal, it's a okay, I'm not going to say much more, but I think I know what you're talking about.
Yes, yeah, it is an interesting one.
It is. If it's the one I'm thinking about, I saw a taxidermy mount of this animal, and it was really cool, and it made me really want to mount one.
Well, that is a timer. I can tell you that this would be a dream animal for me to work on because there's not a lot of them. So, all right. Tell me what your answer is.
I'm going to say okapi.
That is correct.
Okay.
That is an okapi.
I'm a very big okapi fan. They are freaking cool. Then I saw
they are super cool.
Somebody mounted a baby one. I think it was like for the European taxidermy championships.
Okay.
And it was so beautiful and so pretty. Like you're saying, it's like a dream animal, like a bucket list animal to mount. Is an okapi.
Yeah, because there's not a lot of them. I know I have some facts about them that honestly kind of blew my mind. So I'm gonna kind of fill you in on some of these. So one reason that would be really hard to ever get to mount one of these. There's only about 100 of them in captivity in the world.
Oh wow!
So there's not a lot in zoos for you to get your hands on. They live in dense rainforests, and they never even got a photo of one in the wild until 2008.
Oh, wow!
Yeah. So there's not a lot of them. They're endangered. They just live in such thick areas. They're only found in the Congo. They have those stripes on their legs, like zebra stripes, and there's a lot of different theories as to why they have them. One of the theories is that they're called follow me stripes for their babies. Since it's so dense, their babies can like follow their legs through the dense rainforest.
Cute. I like it.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting. They are oily.
Oily.
Like, yeah.
It's an interesting way to describe an animal.
They have like their fur is like velvet, or their hair, I guess it's probably more hair.
Yeah.
And it's like super oily.
I've heard that. I think they're like velvety, or they look very soft, velvety.
Soft.
Okay.
Another thing, I didn't write this down, but this is really interesting. If you can go find a video of one up close, like people have like pet ones in captivity, whatever, they do not, at least in the stuff I saw, they do not blink.
Do they?
Have you ever noticed that?
I think I know what you're talking about. I think I've saw some video about it, like on TikTok or something. Like,
yeah,
their eyes don't close. Like it's maybe their third eyelid or something that does something funny.
Yeah,
isn't that?
Yeah, it's like that nictitating membrane, like like lizards and stuff.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Like their eye sinks into their skull a little bit or something. I think I know what you're talking about because I think I've seen that as well.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
Crazy looking eyes too.
It's super crazy.
They are super cool animals.
They are. They're just. I have like the coolest thing ever that I didn't get to that one yet because it's just so freaking neat. So another weird thing is that their tongues are long enough to clean their ears. Like they're like a giraffe tongue. They're like black and they're super long. They eat like leaves and fruit and twigs and stuff. But another thing that they eat is clay, burned wood, and bat poop.
Oh, weird. Are they nitrogen deficient or something?
There must be something in it that they need, that they eat that stuff. The coolest thing of all is that they speak a secret language.
Oh, is it on the same line as like whales? Are they speaking a language?
Kind of. I guess the difference with whales is maybe it's because they're in the water, you can hear them. So they were recording the noises they make. They don't make a lot of noises because of course they're prey animals and they don't want to be spotted by these leopards and stuff that are, of course want to eat them. They'll like do some grunts and like bleats. But when they recorded all their noises and then they played it on their computer, they found out that they have infrasonic signals that they send out, and only a computer can pick them up.
Oh, weird. So they have some consistencies that equate to like a language.
Yeah. That way they can like communicate with their young and leopards can't hear them and helps them survive.
They are super weird, and that's another weird thing. Like I wonder if AI could like detect what their language like can translate their language maybe.
I don't know. I'm sure if you did enough research you could figure out the different infrasonic stuff, what it kind of means. But crazy. I thought that was really cool.
They look like they're from a different planet, so that checks out. That's really cool.
Yeah, really neat animals.
But yeah, like you said, I would love to mount one. Like if I ever got my hand on one, that would be like, oh, I'm gonna retire now.
Yeah. If there's anyone I know that'll ever get to work on one, it's Daniel. And Daniel, if you ever listen to this and you get an okapi, You better invite
I was just
Ashley
thinking
and
that.
I just to at least touch it.
We will sew it for you. We'll do the grunt work.
There you go.
Don't care. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be perfect. That's a good incentive.
Right?
Yes.
Let's go on to question 8. This one is a question for you, Heather, and it is in the topic of taxidermy, I suppose. Okay, this question is, if you are lucky enough to place in the top 3 at the World Taxidermy Championships, you receive a medal with this man's face on it.
Let me start my timer. I think I know this one, so I should hopefully get it. Because I feel like I've seen this guy's face enough on other things that it's gotta be.
Yeah.
It's gotta be who I'm thinking of.
Well, I'm not going to give you any hints, but I will repeat the question. No if you are lucky enough to place in the top 3 at the World Taxidermy Championships, you receive a medal with this man's face on it.
Oh, you don't have to think it. You hit me with some hard ones, but this one I should hopefully get right. And if I don't, well, then I'll probably lose. Because if I get it right, we're going to be tied. And if I get it wrong, I hope that you get the next question wrong.
Well, you're doing great so far. So I would suspect you'll get this one correct. But
all right, there is the timer.
Okay, so if you're lucky enough to place in the top 3 at the World Taxidermy Championships, you receive a medal with, Heather, what is your answer?
Carl Akeley?
That is correct. The answer is Carl Akeley. So the medallion, as like you said, you've seen, it has Carl Akeley's face on it. Kind of looks like in the profile of like a coin, I think.
Yes.
It says Carl Akeley at the age of 19.
Oh.
Yeah, that's kind of the whole thing on it. I don't think there's anything on the back. That's actually a good question. I don't know if there's anything on the back of it, but the front, because it goes on like a plaque, so I don't think it needs to be double-sided, but I don't personally have one, so it's hard for me to know for sure. So
he looks old as heck to only be 19 years old.
Maybe when that picture was
taken.
I'm
gonna have to look at this thing.
You'll have to see. I'll send you a picture, and I'll post a picture of this. I'll put it in the YouTube video.
Yeah.
The medallion, it says Carl Akeley at the age of 19 or something like that. Huh. I might be like paraphrasing a little.
I know my boss has 2 of them in his office, and I'm gonna have to look because I was just looking at it the other day, and I swore he looked like he's like 50 or 60 years old.
Yeah, he looks like an old man or something. But
yeah,
that's what it says. What was your what'd your boss win it in? Do you remember?
He won 2nd in world with a turkey and also 3rd in world with a turkey, like 2 different years.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll have to actually look at that now. I never saw that part on it.
Yeah, so if you win worlds, if you place in like the top 3, you get a medal, right? A medallion, and the first place is the gold, 2nd is a silver one, 3rd is bronze. Kind of like the Olympics. I think that's why people like to say that the World Taxidermy Champions, it's like championships. It's like the Olympics of taxidermy. You actually get a like an Olympic type of medal.
Yeah, they are pretty cool. Like you said, I mean, it's just like they give you, it's like a little wooden plaque, and then the medal sits on little things
arms
that stick out. Yep, they are pretty. I don't know how heavy they are. I feel like I'm gonna need to like touch it now. I don't know if it's got some weight to it. Like, how do your national champion medallions have any weight to them?
I mean, you could like,
they actually metal.
You could swing and hit someone pretty good with it. Yeah. They're decently heavy. I'll have to pull them out.
Huh.
Like I've seen like, Wes Motz's, I've seen his. I remember grabbing it and I was like, wow, this is actually heavy. Like, it was heavier than it looked. I think there is some weight, but I don't think they're like pure silver and gold. Like,
yeah, I don't think so either.
I wouldn't imagine they are. That would be pretty expensive.
That would be a lot of money out in medallions.
Yeah, so I think they're just like plated, or I doubt even they're real gold. I don't know.
Yeah, they're probably like bronze, like colored different, would be my guess.
Yeah, but they are very pretty. And most taxidermists who compete are always after one of those.
Yeah, that is a goal. Like, we put 1,000 hours into something to win a medal, but that's just what we do.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, so this is my last question for you, Ashley. This is question number 9. Okay. This one's gonna take you back to high school.
Oh.
So this one might pop right into your head, and this also might have you stumped. So here is the question. What P word refers to an organism's observable traits such as eye color, hair color, and body size? Start. P as in Paul or popcorn.
And it starts with the letter P? Like, is that what? Okay. It starts with a P. This word that begins with the letter P, and it refers to what?
It refers to an organism's observable traits such as eye color, hair color, and body size. So it refers to what an animal looks like.
You're going to say this answer, and I'm going to be like, ah.
I probably will.
Yeah, but
because you've definitely heard it many times. Starts with a P.
Let me ponder this for a sec. Let me ponder the possibilities. This P. Perhaps.
It doesn't sound like a P. That's a good hint.
Oh, okay, okay.
You got a couple seconds. Oh, that's the time. Okay, I'll just give you a couple seconds extra here because this one is, I hit you with a hard one to end with. All right, so I will repeat the question and we'll find out what Ashley answered. We have, what P word refers to an organism's observable traits such as eye color, hair color, and body size? Ashley, what is your answer?
I am literally, this is not right. Phylum?
Nope.
Okay, yeah, nope. There was no chance.
Yeah, that was something we learned in biology. I think phylum is something to do with like cells of like plants.
Yeah, I think it's a plant thing. I think it's like stuff in a plant. I don't even know if it starts with a PH. I don't know. That was just what came into my head. I don't know. What is the answer?
The answer is phenotype.
Well, yeah, that's it. That's the answer. Okay. Well, yeah. I guess
there's geno.
I didn't really know what that word meant, but I do know that word.
Okay. Well, I can tell you what that word means.
Okay.
So, phenotype is the observable expression of genotype, which I know that doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, okay.
It's
checks out.
The observable expression of genotype and environment. So, a genotype is the set of genes that an organism carries. For example, their hair color, height, and your shoe size you get from your genes. But the phenotype, a best example I've found of this is flamingos. So flamingos, their genes make them white, and that's what they look like. But the phenotype, because of the environment they live in,
the shrimp,
makes them pink. Yes, because they eat shrimp. So even though their genotype says one thing, their phenotype, they appear a different way.
Okay. Yeah, this one, that might be a question that keeps me up at night. Okay.
I know that one's, I felt kind of bad throwing that one in, but I was like, I was trying to think of biology questions, and I feel like, since taxidermy, we work on things and try to make them what they look like. I guess maybe a good example in taxidermy, and this could maybe be wrong, would be like the genotype of a whitetail was that he had really, pretty hair and a darker colored face. He had big ears, but the phenotype would have been that he was scarred up and maybe his ears were torn up, and he did something that maybe like his hair color lightened up or something, maybe. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of something taxidermy related, what their genes were versus what they look like.
Well, that's a great question, though. So,
sorry about that.
That's okay. That's a great question. Okay, let's move on to the last question, question 10. So this one is in like the category of like art. Okay, maybe art tools. You'll see.
Okay.
Question is, invented in the late 19th century, this tool, initially used for retouching photographs, evolved into a popular and versatile tool used in automotive detailing, illustration, fine art, and taxidermy.
All right, you're going to have to reword that. You're going to have to say that again.
Okay, so this tool, the answer is going to be a tool name, okay?
Yes, okay.
Invented in the late 19th century, this tool, initially used for retouching photographs, evolved into a popular and versatile tool used in automotive detailing, illustration, fine art, and taxidermy.
Man, you hit me with a hard one too. Holy smokes. What would be a tool that's used? And it was in the late 19th century. The retouching photographs has got me.
That's like the hint there. And retouching photographs. So.
Man, you got me stumped on that one.
Do you have an answer?
Okay, say the question one more time. By the time you're done saying the question, I'll come up with something.
Okay. Invented in the late 19th century, this tool, initially used for retouching photographs, evolved into a popular and versatile tool used in automotive detailing, illustration, fine art, and taxidermy.
Oh, this is going to be wrong. And it's the only reason I'm answering this question with like this answer is because I'm thinking of retouching photographs, and this is completely wrong, but I'm going to say blacklight.
That answer is incorrect. Okay, that's a good guess, but the answer is an airbrush.
Oh, son of a gun!
So,
gosh darn it.
The airbrush has a fascinating history that dates back to the late 19th century. Patented by American artist Charles Burdick in 1893, the first airbrush was primarily used for retouching photographs, providing artists with a precise and efficient tool for enhancing images. However, it wasn't until the early 20th century that the airbrush gained popularity as a painting instrument. Over time, the airbrush evolved into a tool utilized in various fields, including automotive detailing, illustration, fine art, cosmetics, and even taxidermy, like we use all the time for finish work, that kind of thing. Its ability to create smooth gradients, intricate details, and subtle effects revolutionized the way artists approached painting, making it an indispensable tool in the world of visual arts.
Oh, man.
That's the answer is airbrush.
Gosh darn it.
I thought retouching photographs might be the hint there. Have you ever heard of people say, like, this was before like Photoshop, like, oh, I'm going to airbrush this photo and take somebody out of the picture or something, or oh, I'm going to get this photo airbrushed. Have you ever heard that?
No. That makes perfect sense why there's an airbrush sitting now.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. I remember there was an episode of, like, I think it was Seinfeld, where he went and got a picture airbrushed, and he took the picture in to get, airbrushed, so touched up, right? And he wanted somebody taken out of the picture, but they took the wrong person out of the picture, and so it became like a funny bit. And then my dad, he was a photographer growing up too, so he would call things like airbrush, like when he would retouch a picture, they still called it airbrush, like, oh, can you airbrush this person in or out or whatever, even though it was Photoshop at that time.
That's so would they airbrush in like the background scenery of like what would have been behind the person?
I think so. Like, if you had a picture with, your portrait, right? And if you had something in the background you didn't want there, they would airbrush it. So just like we do in taxidermy, where we airbrush around the eyes and stuff, they physically like airbrushed the picture and changed the background.
I'm gonna Google old airbrushed photo real quick.
Oh yeah, Google that real quick.
I just want to see airbrushed photo edit.
That'll be interesting to see. Oh, I found one.
Yeah, they would like actually airbrush like the texture of people's faces and stuff and make it smoother, just like we do sometimes on editing on our phones and stuff.
Yeah, I think so. I think they, like, if you had, blemishes on your face, they could airbrush those. Maybe they airbrushed somebody's teeth whiter.
That is very interesting. I definitely learned a lot of stuff today because I did not know that at all.
Yeah, I guess I didn't know it was originally created for retouching photographs. Like, that was the original purpose, to invent the airbrush. So it's cool that we use it in taxidermy. Obviously, it's like a very, intricate tool that's very kind of specialized. They use it in cars.
There's a really big airbrush.
Yeah, they use like the big one. I think that's how they paint cars and stuff, right?
Yeah. Man, not even close to thinking about
Oh,
so we are tied.
Oh, we tied up. What? How many did we each get right?
So Ashley, you got 3 right, and I got 3 right, and we both got 2 wrong.
Did we anticipate a tiebreaker?
Well, I put in here that we could do a tiebreaker. I do have. I bet I got it saved in my phone instead of on here.
Okay, I do have one that we could answer. So our tiebreaker question is going to be a numerical answer. So between me and Heather, one of us will get this answer closest to the correct number, and that's how we'll determine the winner.
The winner, yeah.
All right. The question is, what is the maximum recorded speed in miles per hour of the fastest bird in level flight?
Okay. Starting the timer. All right. Miles per hour, the fastest bird in recorded flight.
What is the maximum recorded speed in miles per hour? I have an answer in my head, and I'm going to stick with it. Okay?
I think I got one too. I definitely got one too.
Hopefully we don't have the same answer.
Well, I guess we don't have to have the timer on if we both have answers we want to stick with.
Yeah. So again, the question is, what is the maximum recorded speed in miles per hour of the fastest bird in flight? I'm going to say, should we say it at the same time?
Sure. I mean, if the lag doesn't
Let's try it. All right. 3,
okay.
2, 1, 200.
66.
Oh.
Holy. We were far.
Okay, let's see. What's the answer? I'm typing it in, and I don't know the answer yet.
All right, so for just a reminder, the fastest recorded flight of a bird in level flight, I said 66, and Ashley said 200.
Yep, I said 200. So, okay. Are you ready for the answer, Heather?
Yes.
The question, what was the maximum recorded speed in miles per hour of the fastest bird in level flight? Again, this is the tiebreaker question. Whoever has the closest answer gets it right. The maximum recorded speed of the fastest bird in level flight is approximately 240 miles per hour.
Wow, you were definitely close.
Achieved by the peregrine falcon when diving to catch prey. I think I remember seeing this on, like, do you remember it was on some kids network on
Man, I swore, like, even when I was thinking of my miles per hour, I was thinking of the peregrine, and I swore they said it was like 60 some miles an hour. Wrong.
So yes, 240 is the correct answer. I said 200, so
wow,
I got that one.
That is a fast bird.
Yeah, I remember thinking that was hella fast. So the peregrine falcon.
Yeah, that would stick in your memory.
Yeah.
All right, well, Ashley is the winner.
Yay! That was a great game. So good job.
That was a nail biter. So that wraps up this month's trivia episode. We hope you all enjoyed following along and taking your best guesses. We would like to thank you for listening to our podcast, Wildverse. If you would like to stay up to date on new episode releases, you can follow us on Facebook at Wildverse Taxidermy Podcast or at Instagram at Wildverse Podcast.
And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Wildverse Podcast, to see when new videos come out. Or you can check out Wildverse Taxidermy Podcast on your favorite apps. And don't forget to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen from. And also, let us know how you did in this game of trivia.
Yes, let us know what you scored, and we hope you have a great week and you learned something new.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.